Ever heard of an ARC? An authorization to return to Canada? Probably not. But for some people who've been issued a removal order asking them to leave Canada, in order for some persons, depending on how they responded to the removal order, in order for them to return to Canada, they may first have to apply for a special approval known as an authorization to return to Canada. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer at Goose Law Immigration, where we help businesses with their employees' work permit applications and save them all from having to deal with the legal hassle. In this video, we want to talk about the ARC, the Authorization to Return to Canada. Now, where somebody who has been inside Canada for a stipulated period of time has been asked by the immigration authorities to leave Canada, they would have been issued what's called a removal order. And in certain circumstances, in order for some of those persons to return to Canada, they must first apply for special permission, known as an authorization to return to Canada, an ARC. Now, a removal order may take one of three forms. One may be issued a removal order that requires them to leave Canada within 30 days. That one is known as a departure order. So there are three types of removal orders. One of them is a departure order. So the departure order is where they're instructed to leave Canada within 30 days. And if they conform to the stipulations there and leave within 30 days, then when time comes, if and when they decide to apply to re-enter Canada, then they'll be able to do so under the normal channels, like everybody else, by submitting a visa application if that's required, and submitting a work permit application and allowing the immigration officers to make their assessment. Now, if somebody who's issued a departure order decides or refuses to leave within the 30-day period, then that departure order automatically becomes what's called a deportation order. Now, a deportation order is an entirely different beast. Once you've been issued a deportation order, and this is the second type of removal orders, a deportation order automatically requires you to apply for special authorization to return to Canada, because a deportation order, in essence, bars you from Canada indefinitely. And so that's a difficult thing to overcome. And in order to overcome it, you then need to apply for a special permission, known as an authorization to return to Canada. So again, a departure order automatically becomes a deportation order if the person has not left Canada within the 30 days. And generally speaking, a deportation order is a more serious type of removal order that bars somebody from Canada indefinitely. So in both those circumstances, an ARC is going to be required. The third type of removal order is known as the exclusion order. And this is where somebody is excluded from Canada for 1 year. So you are asked to leave Canada and you're not permitted to return to Canada until at least 1 year has passed. And if you conform to that, and also if the reason you were asked to leave Canada wasn't based on a misrepresentation, then you would be able to apply. After the 1 year passes, you'd be able to apply as normal for a visa if a visa is needed, or for a work or study permit, and have the immigration officers process your application and make a decision, as is the case with normal applications. However, if you have not conformed to the stipulations in the exclusion order, then you too would need to apply for an ARC. Right, an special authorization to return to Canada. And if the reason why you were removed from Canada is because you misrepresented, meaning you either stated something in your immigration application that was erroneous, that was inaccurate, that was false, or you may have withheld some information, either of which would have been impactful on your immigration application had you disclosed it or had you not misstated the information. So that's what a misrepresentation is. And where there's a misrepresentation, there's an automatic 5-year bar. Okay? So an authorization to return to Canada is where one needs to seek special permission from the immigration authorities before they can actually apply to return to Canada, be it as a visitor or as a worker or so on. All right? So I hope you found value from this. And as always, remember to like our videos so others will see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel and check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks. See you again.